Hello and welcome to what is a grey, cloudy, wet, miserable, if I'm honest, Sunday morning in Birmingham. But jobs need doing, and when you work full time, you do not have the luxury of coming down here all the time and getting everything done. So sometimes you have to do work in the crap weather. That's just a fact. My name is Lee, and along with my co-allotmenteer Dan, my other half Rachel, and my little girl Lyra, we've got a plot of land in Birmingham called an allotment if you are not from this country, and we try to grow stuff. That's what we're doing. I'm giving you a little intro there because we seem to have a few more viewers than normal. So welcome. If you're enjoying what we do give us a like and a subscribe, and you can find me on Blue Sky under Bearded Gardener. So today, in the horrible weather, I'm going to try and mow this grass behind me. Yes, you're right, I might be an idiot. I'm not sure whether that's going to work at all, but we're going to try because, as I say, we don't know when it's going to be dry enough to do it. Probably on a Tuesday when I'm at work, but she needs a haircut, and the trees behind her need some wood chip put around them because apparently, according to our site sort of tree expert, they love a bit of wood chip around them. So there we go. Yes, so a fair bit to be getting on with. Let's go and see what Dan's been up to. Here on the plots of South Birmingham, we spot the lesser known Dan Allotmenteer. That was hello everyone. I'm not sure whether you would have heard. Dan, what are you up to?
I'm building a cage for our onions because packed, moved around. You can probably see they've been given a hard life so far. So netting over there, giving them a bit.
Oh, I'm hoping you heard all of that. He's building a net, which is good because lots of our onions have been tampered with, which is not ideal. So this should hopefully protect them. Good work, Daniel. This, rather excitingly, is the time we've got some chickens on the plot. Look at this. Chris has brought them down to the plot. They have a little peck. Chickens can see little bugs that we cannot. It's beneficial for our grass and our bits and bobs. Well, here is all of the naysayers. Our little orchard area has had a haircut. I think she's looking rather beautiful, don't you? The lawnmower didn't like it too much, I'm not going to lie, and none of the grass went into the basket at the back because it's all clumping up, so it is all on there. But I suppose that can only be good for the grass, can't it? Feeds back into it. So there's the first bit. Now these trees, I did mention the other day, look like they've got something called canker. Now if I come into one of these trees and find, here we go, here's a good example of it. That, I think, is canker. Now I've got some treatment for that. I think it's a fungal infection. How cool is it to see chickens in the background on the plot, by the way? I'm not going to put that on today because it's going to rain and I feel like it's just going to wash off. But look, there's more up here. And this is an older tree, and I'm not really sure whether it's going to be savable. I spoke to the expert here on the trees. He says that it might get better when we put it on, and that should regrow. So we'll see. The other two trees behind me here are younger, and they do have some, but not as much. I think these are apple trees. So I'm going to treat them all when it's dry, and then around the base we're going to put some wood chips, which apparently they will love. That is not all. Dan has been working down here, and look at the polytunnel. We thought it was just a heap and it weren't going to be any good, but it's clearly seen better days. But it's there, and if we can get this to work for us for the first year, that is going to save us a fair old whack of money. And then next year we can sort of whittle the money aside and get some of the real good polycarbonate material, you know, the white stuff, the semi-transparent stuff that you see. It has got a great big hole here down the side, you can see, but I think we can tape this together. We can reinforce it, make do and mend. Looking inside it, and we're going to pull these beds out of here because we're going to use this primarily for chilies and tomatoes, but that's a big growing space. If we can get maybe 10 chili plants in here and maybe a whole heap of tomatoes, and when we go in, I can stand up in here, which is phenomenal because I'm quite tall. I certainly couldn't on the last plot. So we'll get all of these out. We might just clear them out and even grow the chilies directly in the beds, actually. That could work nicely. That might work well. Ideas on the bounce. The strings here, I think that would have been tomatoes in the corner. These are strawberries down here, which we're going to transplant. We're going to keep them and plonk them in another bed. But yeah, I think this is prime for chilies and tomatoes, and at that end there maybe some sort of potting bench. Interesting. So there you have it, our little orchard. It's had a haircut and it's got its wood chips around the base. How good does that look? That looks proper. You could see that on a National Trust place, you know what I'm saying? That is exciting. Excellent stuff. And we've taken the height off this one in the back as well, a bit more. I'm not sure whether we'll get much fruit off this year, because this one here has had quite an extensive haircut. The other two should be okay. And there in the background, we've got the newly covered polytunnel. Yep, it needs to be tightened up and stuff, but how cool is that? Proper allotmenteering stuff, ladies and gentlemen. And the cage over our onions. So that's it for today. Been a quite productive few hours. We've had the chickens on the plot, so I'll go over for our little sign-off video. Okay, that is probably the end of the video for this weekend. Came down for an hour, been here a bit longer. I was going to do a whole thing on dig versus no dig, because there is currently, as I have mentioned before, very much a civil war going on between dig gardeners and no dig. Realistically, it's whatever you want to do, but I do feel that it probably needs a bit more attention than what I was going to do is a little bit here. So what I'll do is we'll talk through dig and no dig and what the benefits are, that sort of thing. Personally, I'd sort of go for a bit of both, although I do find myself preferring no dig, simply because it's loads easier and you're stopping soil erosion. But that's enough for now, because the next video we do will be on dig versus no dig. So as you can see, what we did behind us today is we got the trees nicely mulched and give it all a haircut. We've seen Dan's new work on the polytunnel, which I'm really hoping is going to last us a year, and he's built us that cage to protect our onions that are just absolutely bloody loved by the beasties around here. We're going to see if we can get a wildlife camera set up to see if we can find out what beast is doing it. Probably Lyra, who knows. Right, thank you very much for watching. If you do like what you're watching, do give us a like and a subscribe and all of that malarkey. And until next time, safe gardening. Oh. It was bound to happen sooner or later.